let's start with the video. Camera gear is a very important part in the filmmaking process. However, it's not the gear that you have, but how you use it that's important. Hi guys, today we're going to be talking about my setup in my office, studio, area of work, shall we call it. And I'm going to be talking about the stuff that I use and why I use it and how it creates a bit more of a better atmosphere compared to if I don't use it. So, without any further ado, let's get to the video. Let's go! Alright, so to start off with, this video is by no means me telling you what stuff you should be buying and what stuff you shouldn't be buying. This is just simply me talking about the stuff that I have and the stuff that I am using and why I use it. Let's start off with the basics, the camera and the audio equipment that I am using. I am obviously running off the EOS RP by Canon, shooting through the EFS 18-55 f3.5 to 5.6 lens with image stabilization in the lens, as well as the obvious stabilization that comes with the EOS R series. The reason that I use the EOS RP is because I'm running on a budget. I do not have the money to pay for the EOS R regular, the R5, R3, R7, the R6. I just don't have those kinds of funds, and the RP is the introduction level, so it's the cheapest while still having a lot of the great features that the R range has. I'm running up my kit lens because it's a good, reliable lens that I've had for years. It is the perfect range for what I need, and seeing that I've already got it, I didn't need to worry about splashing out for a new lens. All I needed to get was an adapter to attach the two together. Moving on. Stop! What's up everyone? Editing Jack here. One second, let me just, there we go, that's a bit better. What's going on guys? Editing Jack here. Just a quick one while I'm finishing up the editing on the thing. I forgot to mention one very important detail, because we're talking about my setup and we're talking about like what actually, how I'm setting everything up, and I've mentioned about my camera, but I've realised in my video I don't actually mention what I'm doing to the camera and how I'm actually placing it in my room. So, as you can see here, I've got my Foursquare. I did make a video about the Foursquare ages ago, about what's on my Foursquare. But what I've done is I've got my tripod that I will be mentioning later on in the video. I've got my tripod. Let me turn on the light. It's a bit better. I've got my tripod here with two of the legs on top of the Foursquare and one leg full extension all the way down. However, when I did that, it wasn't even, it wasn't fully leveled, because the leg at the full extension wasn't long enough to hit the floor. So what I've done is I've stolen one of Rachel's old speakers, stereos, radios things, I'm not sure what it is, but I've placed it on top of that to get, as you can see right there, just to get that, there we go, just to get that extra little bit of height on that side. So instead of it being like that, and I'll be talking like this at you, it's leveled and it's properly like flat where the camera is. So yeah, just that. So yeah, anyway, sorry, didn't mean to, well, I did mean to interrupt there. I fully meant to interrupt there, but anyway, back to the video. Let's go! On to my audio equipment, the stuff that's right here, which I really don't want to be touching. I kind of spoke about this last week's video, but I'm running off the Rode VideoMic Go, the kind of forgotten middle child of Rode's VideoMic range, and it's plugged straight into the H1N audio recorder. It's a nice little standard audio recorder for aux cable based microphones. The tripod and the holding up stuff that I'll be using, stabilization I guess you could call it. I am using a Tevion aluminium tripod, which is my dad's old tripod that I've nicked off him. I do also have a K&F concept tripod, however that is broken. I say broken, like there's a crack on it, meaning the camera goes like that slightly, so I don't like to use that one as my main setup, so I'm running off the Tevion. For the stuff to hold the microphone up, I'm using a lighting stand to put the microphone on, and I'm using a magic arm to hold the H1N. Something to bear in mind, the lighting stand that I have is a 1/4 inch screw, just like everything else to do with camera operation, except for the Rode VideoMic. The Rode VideoMic is bigger than a 1/4 inch screw. I think it might be like a 1/2 inch screw or 3/4 inch screw. So I do have an adapter. Luckily, when I got my Joby GorillaPod, it came with an adapter. So that was just dumb luck that I already had that. So again, if you're looking at the Rode VideoMic Go, that is something that you'll need to look into when you're wanting to prop it up, not on the camera, but on some form of tripod or a lighting stand or some form of stabilization there. That is something that you'll need to bear in mind. Gotten distracted there, I don't know where I am now. So yeah, so that is the kind of like basic setup to create this shot. However, if you look at the intro and this shot here that I'm just going to put up on screen now, that just creates a really flat image and really creates the not a very visually interesting shot and something that just isn't going to get people's attention. So the first thing that I do is I open up my laptop and I put up a shot of one of my pieces of photography that I've been working on over the past couple of months, weeks, whatever. For the past couple of months, I have been using the same piece of photography. That's just because I keep forgetting to change it. However, putting some form of visual interesting thing in your background, it doesn't have to be your wallpaper, your desktop wallpaper on your laptop. It could be a bookshelf with a load of books. It could be, if you've got a map wall, for example, it could be a wall with a map on, or a artwork or something like that. It doesn't have to be what I'm doing. It can be whatever you want to do. Tailor it to what you are talking about in your videos and what you want your channel to be about. Obviously, this channel is a lot about videography and photography, so I use a bit of photography in my background. Once I've opened up my laptop and I've got my background set up, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to close the curtain to control the light that's coming into the room. From there, obviously that just creates a really black space. Even though it is a mirrorless camera, and mirrorless cameras are really good in low light situations, it's still too dark of a situation for no light to be coming in at all. So this is where my Releno softbox light kit comes in. I've mounted it onto my bookshelf in the corner of my office using the Tarion tabletop light stand. A lot of names, I do apologise, to create a key light pointing towards me about 90 degrees from where my camera is now. If I'm facing towards the window, the camera is about 45 degrees to my left, the light's about 45 degrees to my right, so roughly 90 degrees, so it's creating that nice side-on light, creating a shadow side of my face and a lighter side of my face to create a bit more of a cinematic feel to my shot. The reason I'm using that light is purely because it is the most affordable light. The couple of downsides to this light kit is it's a bulb light, which means it's not an LED. It creates a lot of warm light, so after a while of shooting, particularly in the summer, oh boy am I sweating. On top of that, it plugs into the wall, so it's not battery powered, so if for whatever reason I had a bit of a power cut, or if a plug flipped or something like that, I wouldn't be able to use these lights. It also means I can't take these lights out and about with me. I do have an extension cord. That is another downside. For the place that I want it, I do need to use an extension cord, so that's also something to bear in mind. If you want to get these lights, you will need to be wary of where your plugs are in your room. Speaking of light kits, the lighting stand that I'm using for my microphone is the same lighting stand that comes in the Releno light kit. From there, that creates pretty much a complete look, with one thing left is the background is looking a little bit boring and a little bit bland. So what I do is I use my Aputure MC miniature LED light to create a little bit of light in the background of the shot to create, again, a bit more of a visually interesting background. Adds a little bit of light. Again, up above this third monitor here, it's a little bit boring up here, and that would be easily fixed by me just very simply switching on the third monitor to put on another piece of artwork or something like that. I'm also looking into getting some form of LED light to put above there, like maybe like a lightning symbol or something like that, or something along those lines to make it look a little bit more visually interesting back there. But other than that, that is my setup. That is the camera gear and lighting gear and sound gear that I use for my weekly videos. As I said before, you don't need to use this camera gear. This is just giving you an idea of what someone who does videos on the weekly basis uses for his videos. You don't need to splash out on an Aputure MC. They are expensive lights. You can very easily get this same effect by getting a table lamp or a reading lamp and just pointing it up. You can get pretty much the exact same video quality from a modern iPhone as you do with the Canon EOS RP. You can angle your shots so you can just use your natural light from your window instead of needing to buy a lens, instead of needing to buy a light. Either way, I'll put up the full list of stuff that I use. I'm also going to be putting the list in the description with links to where you can get all of this different stuff from. Anyway, I'm seeing that my camera's starting to run out of battery, so I'm going to end this video here. What do you guys think of this video? Let me know what you guys use for your setups in your videos, if you do make videos, or if there's anything of my stuff that you would like a review of, if there's anything that you would like me to cover in an individual and going in depth on anything, please let me know. Leave them down in the comments. Without any further ado, I'm Jack. I will see you guys next week. Bye!